Good afternoon, everyone. So I literally just got back from the gym, still a little bit of a sweaty mess, but I have been having this thought process going on inside my head and thoughts. And I think it's really important when we have these moments and we have these thoughts going around, we can very easily start to internalize everything, right? We start to overthink things and we start to journal things down, and then we start to dissect and critique and wonder how we got there and why we are the way that we are. And I found the best thing to do is the moment that you get an idea, you want to share it with the marketplace, share it with the world, and just openly vocalize things, because it's a release and it gets it out. So there's is it a formula? I'm not sure. My mentor once said to me, you've got to get into the right space. So do the things that really light you up, and then you get downloads. You get downloads through ideas, through creativity. And then you want to get into the habit of downloading and then speak. Download out. And too often we get the downloads and then we're like, oh, but how do I sell that? Or, oh yeah, but that sounds really good, but that's what she's doing and I don't want to seem like I'm copying. Or I get this download and then it's like, how do I put that across so that they know that I'm the expert? And it's just this over analyzing that just kills the idea and it kills the energy. And this is where a lot of people, a lot of coaches kind of are sitting. And so I want to give you the permission, or just say, hey, give you the reminder that that is really where you want to be operating your business from. Idea or download and out straight away. I literally have one line, because I was doing the same thing. I was like, okay, well, how can I make this flow? And that's why Martin and I work really well together. When we're on these videos, he makes sure that we come back in, so I'm not rambling and going off topic. But you know what? If I go off topic, so freaking be it. This is an important message and I want to share it with you. So that wasn't actually it, but I want to give you that insight that that's where you want to run your business from, where you get the idea and it's just like, boom, download out. And you're just not worrying about the way that it comes across, not worrying about trying to get your point across, and not worrying about trying to make it perfect and critiquing it. Because when we critique it, we kill the energy and we kill the vibe, and it's that connection to your viewers and people that are watching you are going to see the authenticity of you just jumping on and talking. So again, we want to get into a habit of download out, write, hit record, any kind of format, it doesn't really matter. So the topic of today I want to share with you is this releasing this energy of having expectation on external factors. Now, I did a story this morning talking about this, and I think it's a really important topic, because throughout our journey, we are going to sometimes deflect things that are going on for us inside based on, insecurities and fears. And it's easier for us to look externally at the things that give us the reasons why things might not be working out for us, or why things are not the way we want them to be, right? And so if we're putting out an offer and we're not getting the feedback, it's easier to blame the marketplace. It's easier to blame the prospects or clients or leads that for why it's not working. And instead of looking at, maybe we need to improve, instead of looking at ourselves and thinking, okay, I recognize that I'm at this point in my journey and I need to make sure that I'm releasing the expectation on external factors, because we are never in control and we got to look at ourselves, right? And so this is the topic for today. And I think it will make you a lot happier because, like I said, we can never really control external factors. And I want to give an example based on relationships. So I'm currently in Auckland, and we came back here in July. And I hadn't seen my I hadn't seen my mum specifically for about 4 years. And I'd seen my sisters on and off. We're all over the place. I mean, most of my family are back here, but I've got a sister now who lives in Melbourne. My dad's here, but he's originally from England. And so he saw us when we were over there. If you don't know, we were also living in England. We've also spent 8 years in Australia. We love to just move. And you'll have noticed that if you've been following us for a little while. Anyway, so I hadn't seen my family for a long time, and I was getting to a stage where I really wanted to be around family and be more accessible. At that time, we were living in England, which is literally the opposite side of the world. But coming home was often very triggering for me. And I recognized that there were some patterns that maybe I had run away from and I didn't have to deal with. And so coming back was very conflicting in some ways. And so when I was visiting certain relatives, I was coming away from dinners, or I was coming away from time with them, and getting really frustrated because I felt like no one was asking me about what I do. No one was asking me about my job. No one was asking me about like how I am, my work. And that really upset me because I felt really misunderstood in those situations, because it just made me think like I've come back and I've come all this way, but it's like no one really gives a crap about my work. And that was really hard for me because I love my work. I love everything that I do. I love showing up. I love my brand. I love working with clients. I love helping them to get results. I love the transformation that I've personally gone through, witnessing clients going through. Like, it just lights me up so much. There's so much purpose. And it felt like no one was asking me about what I did. And so there were times where I was coming away. And I think there was one time where I was just like, I just broke down to Martin, because I was just like, why does no one ask? Like, no one understands me and no one gets me. And what I recognized was that I had expectations on my family. I came home and I had expectations that they would ask me this, that they would find it as interesting as me. They would have, they would welcome me into open arms and sit me down and be like, okay, what are you doing now? Like it was all of this expectation. And so when you come into a situation with expectations, with high expectations, the other person or the other situation or the other environment or the thing can really feel that. And instead of, when you're coming in with expectation, you're actually coming in with a lot of judgment on the marketplace, a lot of judgment on clients, a lot of judgment on your spouse. In my case, a lot of judgment on my family. And so when I have expectation and I'm underneath it all, really judging them for not asking me or not seeming like they care, they energetically are retreating. They're energetically coming in. They're either retreating or they're coming in charged. And so it creates this like really toxic and negative environment. And so when we look at it in terms of, our business, if we have such high expectations on things outside of ourselves, this is what we tend to create. We create this charge, we create this judgment, we create a lot of negative emotion, and we're trying to control the uncontrollable. But in the process, it's just us that gets wound up, and we're the person who kind of created it in the beginning. So the question that I asked coming back to my family was, where in you feels misunderstood? Because you feel misunderstood probably by yourself. So where in you do you not feel like you are being heard? Or where do you feel like you are not performing? Or where do you feel like you feel misunderstood? And so uncovering and looking into that, and it went so far back in the past of like, there's things that happened in my childhood that came through, and it was like, okay, well, that doesn't need to be there anymore. Like, that happened. You can forgive it. You can let that go, because bringing the past with you is just going to create more situations of the past. And if that was not an enjoyable experience, then maybe it's time to create a new and release the old, heal that, and decide, okay, what is it that you're going to do moving forwards? And this was the work that I was doing. And I recognized that all this hurt and frustration that I had in the past, I was bringing forward, and then my family were projecting that onto me. So it actually had nothing to do with my family and had everything to do about my own relationship with myself, and not looking at the causes, or not healing and not looking at the reasons why I might be charged, and then coming into that situation and then just creating more negativity. So I don't want you to get the wrong impression that my family are like not nice and they don't care. They absolutely care. But should I care if people don't ask me what I do? No. We have this conversation often with our clients. You know, if they feel misunderstood by their family or people in their lives, I often ask, well, are they in the trenches with you? And they'll often say, well, no. And what do I mean by that? Are they on social media? Are they in coaching? Do they own a business? Are they doing videos online? Are they getting results? Are they doing the similar things that you are? Because if they aren't, what will often happen is that they can't understand what you do. And because you are just such a complex and amazing human, it's very hard to pinpoint, yes, this is what I do, and that is it. Close the book. It's not like you're a banker, or it's not like you're an accountant, or, you know, it's just easy to explain, right? There's so much that you do with your clients. There is so much you do in your business. And so it's hard to talk about it. And so if the person that you're sharing information with is not in the same realm, is not getting results like you're getting results, is not doing the things that you're doing, is not in the trenches, it is very difficult for them to understand what you do. And so what happens is you then put yourself into a position where you are trying to explain yourself. And because it's not met in the same awareness, in the same realm, in the same mindset, this can cause a lot of friction, because you've got one party who's trying to be like, I don't understand what you do, and this sounds really weird and really crazy. And it can almost feel like they're bringing you down, which makes you go into a defensive mode, and you become more defensive, or more judgmental, or more critical of them because they're not understanding, and you kind of think, well, you should just understand anyway. So it just creates this it's just not going to go anywhere, because they just simply cannot understand. You're just both speaking two different languages. Essentially, that's what it is. And then you're both getting frustrated with each other. So that is always my advice, is to not, or be careful who you're sharing your thoughts, your goals, your work with, because if they're not in the trenches with you, they just simply cannot understand. And then it puts you in a position where you're having to explain yourself. And that doesn't always feel very good, right? So going back to my family, I realized that I was like, why can't you just enjoy your time with your family and see the really good sides of each and every one of them, and not go in charged, not go in with expectation, not go in with like expectation that they're going to ask you how things are, and how your business is, and how you're going, and what your growth is, and, you know, all the things that you're really excited about. Because often what you will find is that your family or people in your life also feel misunderstood. This is a really good thing. And they also might have expectations. And it's like, if you can turn up as this like relaxed, no expectations, really wanting to enjoy their company, going in totally chill, very light, in alignment with yourself, you will have a really great experience. And this is the energy, this is the focus that you want to take into your business, with your spouse, with your relationships and your family, everything. When we can start to remove our expectations on the external, clients, the marketplace, we put ourselves back into a place of power where we can say, okay, if we're getting frustrated here, where am I frustrated with myself? Because people in situations are often projecting what we are actually feeling inside. And we're looking for other people or other situations to save us, and they are not. I have learned this the hard way, and it only makes you miserable. This is a forever game. You're not going to get to a point where you're like, okay, I've just removed expectations from everyone. There's going to be times where things come up again, and you have to have the self-awareness and the self-control to reel it back and remove the attachments from your business, from your clients, from the marketplace, from your spouse, from your family. You have to have the strength to be like, actually, this is on me. This is me projecting my crap onto this, which is causing the disconnect, because I, on some level, are disconnected with myself. So when we are looking at how we can get connected, the easiest way I find is to focus on shifting the energy. So instead of talking about the injustices or the frustrations, because all that does is hold you into a space of negativity and toxicity. And though it might seem very real and very valid and very frustrating, the more you sit there and talk about it and reaffirm your reasons as to why you are not getting results and not getting the outcome that you want because of this one thing or this one person or this one situation, the longer you hold yourself out of alignment to the life and the business and the happiness that you're actually looking for. This is why we're saying we want to get connected. We don't want to be disconnected. So number one is to stop telling the stories of it being hard or frustrating or difficult. Even if it's with your partner, you just want to eradicate that story because it's just holding you down, holding you in a vibe, and you want to go and do something fun. Literally, go for a walk, go on the treadmill, go to the gym, have some food, go and have some chocolate. I don't know. That is what I do. I shift the energy. I stop talking about it. I stop giving it the energy, and I go and do something fun. This is not the time to step into your business and try and work it out, try and overwork yourself. This is the time where you want to do the illogical thing, the thing that your mind is telling you that is not right, is the thing that you should be doing, because you're looking to just relax again, come back into center where your state is more neutral. And then you can start to think straight. That is when or meditate. You go and meditate, you go and journal it out, you go for a walk. You have to have your list of practices that you know is going to get you into the space. And that is the work. And you go and do that until you've shifted that energy. The next thing is you want to ask yourself, where in me is disappointed? Where in me am I choosing to make this difficult? Why am I making this difficult? Why do I not want this to work? Like, there are so many questions. And sometimes this is why it's really great having a mentor, because these are the kinds of questions that we ask our clients, particularly our long-term clients, because we often can make things really complicated, and we often come in and out of connection and disconnection with ourselves. And sometimes it's really helpful to just say, hey, to your mentor, this is what I'm experiencing. I can feel like I'm just out of sync right now. I can feel like maybe I'm making this a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. Maybe I have expectation on external factors, and I'm aware that I can't change them. I'm aware that I do not have any control, but this is the outcome that I would really love. Where do I need to improve? Where do I need to shift my focus? What am I not seeing right now? And we've had so many transformational calls with our clients just from, like, it's been sometimes even 10 minutes and we get that energy shift and they're like, yep, I so saw that. I can so see how I'm doing that. Back to fun, back to lightness, back to high vibes, back to energy. And sometimes it's things that they weren't even able to see because they were just so in the trenches. And that is often what happens. So to have someone like a mentor who is bird's eye viewing your journey and your business and your situation, to be like, hey, like, I'm thinking that might be not, that is not actually the problem. There is no problem. Don't worry about it. You're overthinking it. You're overanalyzing it. Here's where the focus needs to be. Realign, reconnect, and then off they go. Avalanche of results, avalanches of happiness and joy in their business just come flooding through. We always want to come back to releasing that not external expectation. I was like, I just had external in my head and I'm like, that's not the word that I'm looking for. So we want to release that expectation on our business to perform and our clients to be there and prospects to be there and expectations on ourselves. We want to have really healthy expectations. We want to be clear on what are our goals. We want to be committed to seeing that through, working with the right mentors who can help provide the right process, the right guidance that can help us to realign and reconnect to our message and who we are and our business. And this is partly what we do with our clients. It is so awesome. Like, I say this all the time, but it is freaking awesome. And what's even more awesome is that once they've created this, once they get the right help, then they start helping their other clients, and then their clients start seeing the results. Anyway, I know I've talked about this before, but it is just like, it is just so awesome to see that. It is so good. Ripple effects, as we say. So as I wrap up this ramble and very important message that is so hot topic and very relevant to today, is that we want to realize that everything is what we create. We are always in control. And the outcomes that we are currently receiving are based on how we are thinking and how we are feeling and how we are reacting to ourselves and to our own results. That is what's manifesting more. That is what's creating the results right now. It's got nothing to do with external factors. It is purely a mirror to what is happening. So removing expectations, making sure that we are getting into the right state, having a list of practices that you come back to so that you can cool out, chill out, because there's going to be times where it's like, oh my God, but it doesn't help anyone and it just gets you in a sour mood and it just ruins the energy. And no one wants to be around that. And you don't actually want to be in that space. So we want to take back control, get back into a state, neutral, fun, relaxed. And then we want to get clear on, okay, what are we working on? What are the goals? Let's stay committed to the course. Let's get the right help who can help us to see our blind spots in our growth and in our business so that we're not sitting and wallowing around in a way in our own gray areas, confusion, negativity. It doesn't have to be that way. This journey can be the most rewarding. It is not always easy, but it certainly doesn't have to be hard. So if you would like some help, if you are a coach and you would like some help with that, and you've been following us for a little while and you're more or less clued up with the Freedom Air way, and this way aligns with you on some level, don't hesitate to send me a DM on my socials. I will send, or I'll comment below in the description, some links if you want to give me a message. I'm also open to takeaways, key takeaways, even if it's just one that you took away from this video. I would love to hear from you anyway. And if you were looking for some further guidance in growing your business, working with world-class clients, traveling the world, using the Freedom Airs business model, again, send me a DM and I will be in touch. I have thoroughly enjoyed spending this time with you. First of its kind. I wonder what we should call this. Sally's Chats, or if you have any options, let me know. But I hope this provides some help, and enjoy your weekend. And I'll speak to you guys really soon.